Welcome to Massive Beers. Yeah, my name's Matt. We do beer reviews and stuff. We do a whole bunch of things. And tonight we are doing a beer from a brewery called Hop Butcher for the World. This be their Cascade Heavy. Yeah, this is a 7% alcohol by volume IPA. It was packaged like a week and a half or so ago. I don't know if you guys can read that. Anyway, and it's Cascade and Citra Hopped IPA. Yeah, these come direct from Hop Butcher. They send a lot of YouTubers, beer tubers, beers, and I think that's a great thing. You know, a lot of breweries don't embrace, YouTube as a medium for beer talk. A lot of people, highbrowers look down on it, and I kind of appreciate their little tip of the cap. So let's dive into it. First things first, they are one of the proponents of the old pull the label off with the zip tie thing that I was trying to illustrate that's not actually working right now. So every Hop Butcher beer you get, there's a way to actually peel this label off real quick. I just go like this and stuff. Anyway, so it dejackets it, makes it a little bit more recyclable. I'm a fan. Label-wise, very much kind of monolithic, rocky, kind of Jetsa style stuff. And we have tasting notes of zesty citrus, juicy grapefruit, and floral lemongrass. Hopefully you can see that in there. Yeah. I wasn't going to do a beer review tonight, but today's a great day for a couple different reasons. Today is Tuesday, and I have a filthy glass, which is fantastic. Actually, it might just be filthy on the outside, but we'll see. So in less than 48 hours, Arsenal will have secured fourth place, or secured at minimum fourth place in the Premier League, have won at White Hart Lane, and have revigorated St. Totteringham's Day, which is going to be fantastic. And I got a new job. Yeah. Well, technically I don't have it yet. I accepted the position, I signed the offer sheet, and I gave my 2 weeks notice at work. I'm super pumped. I'm very excited. It's been a very tumultuous past 6 months at my work, so I'm as much as I might come off as a lot of different things, I am a consummate professional. So through all the craptasticness that happened at work, I just kind of kept my head down and kept chugging. So it's fun to see new fun adventures, and with my commute going from 130 miles a day to 30. I think I'm ahead of the game. So yeah, I like the label. Something kind of, like I said, like monolithic, like metal-y, almost like Norwegian death metal, which kind of makes sense, because you think of metal, I think of metal. I think of old school. That's what I think of. I don't think of new school, because I don't think metal really exists anymore. And if you look at that beer looks like old school, man. That looks like an old school, Midwestern, kind of ranky, big, huge, a lot of Cascade. Well, Pacific Northwest also. You think Cascade, you think of Pacific Northwest. Man, that Two-Hearted, man. That's got Two-Hearted vibes written all over that sucker. That is not a bad thing. So, yeah, that kind of amber glow, subtle haze. Nose. And it smells like that, man. That little bit of candied, kind of, like candied sugar kind of vibe going on. I didn't do my hair, didn't really do my beard. I just turned around saying, I'm just gonna hit record. So that's what you're getting. Yeah, it has this kind of like apricot candy kind of thing going on. Nowhere near as sweet as maybe those words kind of come off. When I say apricot hard candy, it's probably more, I hate the word marmalade. I don't want to use it, but it's kind of more like that. It's more of a jammy thing, sweetness level, as opposed to hard candy. But the way that flavor comes off has that kind of hard candy kind of vibes. And it very much is that kind of orange, apricot-y kind of mixture. What you'd expect from kind of old school IPA. You know, you're talking about these old school West Coast IPAs, even these East Coast fruity ones, really dug heavily deep into that kind of big 4C kind of thing. They have a 4C beer in that fridge that they sent me, and I'm going to review, but maybe I'll put them up together. It kind of makes sense to put them up together. But, with this being Cascade Heavy, it's not super resinous, at least on the nose. It's not super, like, piney, but it just has that kind of gooey, filthy, kind of jammy, kind of apricot orangeness I kind of miss. Dive in, y'all. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, that is quintessential old school Midwest IPA. And I mean, that is to a T. It is not like, it's a little bit more jammy, a little bit more fruity up front than what you expect from like a Two Hearted or maybe like a Chill Wave or something like that. It's not as bittering, just because that's the way of the world nowadays. But man, its DNA is really, really just dug super deep into that kind of Midwest, you know, Illinois, obviously, Chicago-based kind of like double IPA. That's where this kind of DNA kind of lands, and it's taking that Cascade, propping it up on a pedestal, but not letting it be like, kind of like, oh, here's Cascade, drink it, have fun with it, it's Cascade. No, it's bringing a lot more to the table. Like I said, it's that super jammy apricot orange. I can't say that enough. What are their tasting notes? I read them. I don't even remember them. Zesty citrus, juicy grapefruit, floral lemongrass. I get that floral lemongrass. I haven't mentioned that. I can understand where that's coming from. But for me, it's an apricot jammy, like in the new school sense. It's not like a British, like goopy, like super saccharine, sweetie kind of my mom, how she grew up and what I had, jammy kind of thing. I mean, a more elevated, not overly sweet, adulty version of that, and a very drinkable and crisp. And that's where this one kind of like kicks kind of tradition to the, I guess I'd say forefront, but takes the new school and throws it out the door. And that has this subtle softness to it. It has a little satin silkiness to it. But it's really hyper drinkable. I don't want to say clean and crisp, because I think it falls short of that, just because it has a bit of softness to it. When you combine away that kind of fruitiness comes off, when you combine away that kind of orange marmalade kind of apricot thing kind of comes off in an unsweetened kind of way, adds that nice pop of bitterness, it ends up being super drinkable without being just squeaky clean. Yeah, it's Cascade heavy, but there's more to it. I think the name does it a little bit of disservice. Cascade's the star of the show, but I think there's some deft brewing at hand here in a very, very fun way. It just drinks like old school IPA in a new school mentality. I mean, that's it to a T. And it's one of those beers where I think if you shared it with not all the new school, not the Haze Bros, Hop Thoughts, like the just super juice boys, I don't know if it's going to resonate super crazy with them. They, them, him, her, anything in between. But I think there's going to be a kind of like head noddy universal appeal about it. And I think that's kind of hard to do. And I think that's a cool thing. And I dig it. I think it's fun. I picked this for a reason. This is the first, Hot Butcher sent a box off. I haven't done an unboxing for Hot Butcher in quite some time, so if you want to go check it out. And this is one of the ones that kind of had me a little, kind of like, my interest was piqued. This one, the 3 C's, and the one with the feather on it. And does not disappoint. Yeah, I like it. I dig it. Super drinkable. Let's recap. Super drinkable. Apricot marmalade kind of, I said that word, yes. Orangey kind of jammy thing going on, but not in an oversweetened kind of sense. Super drinkable, but it has that little bit of satin thing going on, and then just that, there's a fluttering bitterness around it, but just ends up being just this old school, new school kind of melange of funness that just reeks of Midwest in a very fun way, in a very tasty way. One of the better IPAs I've had as of late. Yes, Mount Rushmore status, no. It's deserving of being up there. I've just had so many, it's hard to put them up there. Let's talk about it. Have you had this? Let me know what you thought of it. If you love this beer, hate this beer, or somewhere in between, what do you usually drink? That's what I'm curious about. I don't know if it's a thing where it's like you have to be a specific kind of beer drinker or a specific kind of like new school beer drinker to really appreciate this. That's where I'm curious. So if you've had this beer, let me know. If you hated it, love it, somewhere in between, and what you typically do enjoy. Your thoughts on Hot Butcher in general. Your thoughts on beer in general. That's what I want to talk about. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you're enjoying this right now. Cheers, y'all.